Hey there, friendos! Fredo Supreme, the American Dream, back with more Alpha Protocol. By the way, I'd just like to point something out in future commentaries. If I appear to be going a little bit quiet at certain points, it's not because I have nothing to say. Well, kind of it is, actually. It's actually because I'm trying to concentrate on the game, so don't get me wrong if I start going quiet. It doesn't mean that I hate the game, it just means that I'm trying to play it a little bit smarter, you know? Work smarter, not harder. That's what I always say. Or at least heard in certain Dilbert strips. So, looks like Shahid got word of how we didn't end up harming any of his fellas down at the ruins for that weapons deal. Doesn't know much about specific plans Halbeck has in store, but still thinks they're gonna mess up the world in case they are... blah blah blah. Thanks for not being a jerk over at the ruins. Sincerely, Shahid. Oh, right, that was for the ruins. By the way, off camera, I did prep myself for this mission, decided to upgrade my armor. Now I have the advanced stealth armor, which provides the best endurance and capacity for carrying things that I can. Okay, this sounds really forced right now. I'm just going to skip ahead at this part where I'm actually starting the mission.
I'm in the museum.
Mike, I just picked something up on the cameras. It's Marburg's men. They have Madison.
Damn it.
Ah, geez, folks. Just when you thought that this mission couldn't get any more convoluted, turns out Marburg's men seem to have gotten a hold of Madison. Time for a good old-fashioned revenge rampage on these fools. Show them what it's like when they mess with the homeboy Michael Thornton and the homeboy Fredo Supreme, the American Dream. Just heading over here to shut off the cameras. And that is that. Oh. I thought Michael's mouth moved for a brief moment there. Alright, now that that little side area is out of the way, time to focus on the actual mission, saving Madison from Marburg's men. Now, Marburg is basically here to apparently blow up a museum for some reason. Why, I'm not entirely sure, but still, if he intends to use Madison as a means to do that, then, you know what, I'm just going to drop the whole false acting thingy that I was doing back in Taipei. Long story short, Madison is basically a hostage right now, and we have to save her, because action movie. I don't need to kick this door open, but I will regardless, because why not? And now here is one of the first problematic areas of the level, if you're going for stealth. Four guys? Seems simple enough, don't you think? I got seen for a second. Can I snipe this guy?
I saw something.
Hide like a...
seem to be dudes about. Time for the unicorns, as Skylar called them. That went surprisingly well. Now it's just one more guy left. See if I can hit him with a shotgun. Hey jerk! Hey jerk! Quit shooting all these potential exhibits. They're expensive, man. Hey, screw it. I'll just stomp it. I may have been trying to go for a straight-up execution right there, but you know what? It's not really worth it. At the moment, anyways, considering that I really should have been putting a little bit more into my shotgun skill, in hindsight. Let's just scour the room and see if we can find any intel, or at least money, considering that advanced stealth armor cost me 135,000. Ooh, got a little intel on Alpha Protocol. I wonder what that's all about. Whoops, it's not individual, it's a faction. Ah, Yellow Brick Road. So Westridge has been having a long-standing beef with a former KGB goon by the name of Alexei Dravich. Huh. I wonder if Mr. Dravich was supposed to be a character in this game as opposed to just being mentioned in passing in a dossier. And speaking of characters that were removed from the final game, there's this one character named Yuli Bowie who was apparently removed from was in original drafts of the game, but for some reason got removed at the last minute. What I mean by removed at the last minute was that she's still listed on IMDb as if she's still a character in the game as her voice actor, Gray DeLille. I cannot pronounce her last name, so I'm just going to say she was the voice actress for Mandy in The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and Frankie Foster in Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. She was supposed to voice Miss Bowie, but for some reason, that character got cut, and long story short, someone forgot to do a little trimming on the IMDb page. I swear if I ever meet Miss DeLille one day, I am going to ask her that question. If she was actually supposed to be in this game. Well, voicing a character, you know what I mean. So, back to what's currently happening. Long story short, Madison St. James is in peril, and I just found out where she's being taken. Huh. I wonder if this evacuation point 5 is where the bombs are. Maybe she might be strapped to one of the bombs like Sue Young at the end of Rush Hour. Surprisingly light resistance. Only had to deep 6 like 7 goons so far. What's in this maintenance closet? I really do wish that the lockpicking in this game was done by something that wasn't as Twitch sensitive, you know? Like in Sleeping Dogs, I've mentioned this point before. You pick locks using the analog sticks. It'd be nice if you could use that to pick the locks.
In the museum.
It's normal hours. A few tour groups, security guards. It's a light day for tourists. But that's still a lot of people if the bomb goes off.
I won't let it happen.
Huh. Is it me, or is that the same security guard model from the security room in the hotel mission in Taipei? I wonder if that's another guard model. By the way, about that character that I was talking about who was completely cut from the final game, Yuli Bowie, I actually have a webpage where I wrote an article discussing that character. I'll put the link in the description if you would like to see. Ooh. I don't know if that blood puddle was from my stomping or the shotgun blast, but still, either this shotgun is surprisingly pokey, if you get my drift, Or Michael's foot is on steroids or something. Whatever. I feel I should take it slowly right now.
Mike, you need to hurry.
Why? What's going on?
It sounds like Marburg's men are attacking the security guards. Security's outnumbered. They'll be slaughtered.
Okay, now right here, it would have been pretty interesting for, it would have been pretty interesting if the guards would... Okay, notice right here how the guards are not attacking Michael right now, even though they clearly saw me throw a grenade and I'm currently wearing armor. In fact, I kind of look like I almost work for one of Marburg's guys, and my reason for throwing that flaming unicorn, as Skylar would put it, was because of a contractual dispute. Would have been interesting if if wearing the civilian clothes would have allowed you to get through the guards, through security guards here just as easily as I am right now. They'd be all, no, he's probably just a civilian with extensive firearms training, and he's currently doing the equivalent of Die Hard in a museum. I wonder if I can catch this guy on the stairs with a little, get a little oomph. It looks like I can. Sometimes I amaze even myself. Don't worry, security guards. I have saved the day, for now. Ignore me while I basically perform a low-key hold-up in your cafe. Runner again. Should be simple enough. Huh. Saving the day, and I just boosted $8,000 worth of, And this, the museum might be turning up $8,000 light on its next, cash drop, you know? Alright, let's see this evidence that I just found. Okay, Insider Man at the museum, yada yada, Eagle team keeping the crowd under control. Blah blah blah, they're doing a false flag operation to blame Al-Samad for the attack. As Michael said a few minutes ago, I won't let that happen. We'll scan the area. Okay, nothing else to find. Oh, except for that $100 bill roll.
Agent Thornton, you made it. Good. That makes things interesting. We have Madison. She's being held in the west wing of the museum. My men have orders to execute her.
That where your bombs are too?
No, the bombs are with me at the Crusades exhibit. You won't have time to reach both. Either way, someone dies.
You're right about that, Marburg. Why don't you stay put? I'll be right there.
Left or right, Thornton? Your choice. Madison, or coming after me and the bombs. There's not time for both.
Mike, Madison. She's in the wing to your left, but the bombs are in the wing to the right.
Which way should I go?
I don't know, Mike. You'll have to make the call. But I don't think Marburg is bluffing.
Okay, so, long story short, Mina is correct on that statement. Marburg is not bluffing. After that bad acting bit in the slums in Taipei and the end of the Memorial Park, also in Taipei, I'm not gonna lie. You go to the West Wing, you'll save Madison, but the bombs will go off and cause tons of civilian casualties. Also, if you've already met somebody in Rome, I'm not going to spoil who, in case you haven't played this game before and you'd like to find out for yourself. Someone you meet in Rome Moscow, will be displeased with your actions. If you've already met them, then they will send you an email telling you, I hope she was worth it. On the other hand, you go after here, then that person will be pleased with your little crusade, pardon the pun, and and you'll end up getting a +2 with them when you first meet. Also, going to disarm the bombs, +1 with Marburg, save Madison, -1 with Marburg. Just doing a little quick check as to what my current reputation with Marburg is. Wouldn't be surprised if it's in the toilet. Well, it's pretty low. A +1 might throw things off a little bit, but hopefully I'll be able to reconcile that.
Mike. They've sealed off the entrance to the other wing.
Guess there's only one way to go now.
Back to what I was saying before the loading screen kind of cut me off. Even if I can't kill Marburg right now,
I'm picking up some
I
interference
do
on the
happen
channel.
to know who Madison's dad is, so
There's some proximity
maybe
mines.
that might be a little +1 in
I'll keep an eye out.
dealing with Marburg and his evil plan. I almost feel like making a Mafia 3 reference right now, but I unfortunately don't know how to. Well, you know what? I'll just let it rock right now. Whatever skill I have. Good night to the false flag operators whom I'm telling to hush. You know, I have never actually managed to get past this segment without tripping at least one of the little proximity mines here. Case in point. Screw it, I'm just gonna run it. By the way, Skylar, I know you're going to criticize me for killing those poor defenseless turrets who only had a family to feed. That's why they were doing this job. But then again, if they needed the money, then they probably should have picked a different line of work than working for someone who's planning to blow up a museum for profits. You know? And I'm probably going to remain insanely quiet for this next part because there's a whole lot of dudes in between me and the bombs. So, enjoy whatever skill I show off.
Another detonation charge ready to go. Who's out there?
Surprisingly well for someone who has no idea what they're doing. Oh right, I forgot about the other dudes. Alright, go unicorns! Man, this segment went surprisingly easy. jack this cache of ammunition, and time to disarm the bombs. Hold on a second, just have to equip my boss fight hardware. I don't think my girl Yvonne is gonna need a silencer for what's about to go down. Yeah, more accuracy will definitely save my tuchus here, because quite frankly, Marburg is one of the worst bosses in the game. Well, that and the final boss of Moscow. Well, Marburg because of how he basically charges you once you kill a few of his guys, and the Moscow boss because of how the Moscow boss is a problem because of how not only does he charge you after a certain point early on in the battle, but also how he also has invincibility. So, long story short, the bosses in this game are ridiculously unfair.
Mike, get out of here! Marburg is...
It's over. Let her go.
Do as he says. Deus Vult. You brought it on her.
You pulled the trigger.
Don't blame me. You made your choice.
Don't give me that third-party bullshit, Marburg. I'm gonna kill you. Quickly, which is more than a coward who shoots women in the back deserves.
I may give you that chance, Thornton, if only to further your education. I'm impressed. You stayed focused, carried out your mission, disarmed the bombs, and left her for last. I didn't think you had it in you.
Is that a compliment? Spare me, considering your acts of bravery. Praise is an insult.
Very well. Your choice, the hostage or the bomb, was a spur-of-the-moment decision? Something left to chance, then?
No, I figured you were incompetent enough I could do both. The bombs were easy. Killing you? Now that'll be a cakewalk.
I've had just about enough of your arrogance.
No, arrogance is when you shoot a defenseless woman in the back and think it means you can take me out, too.
Did you really think this exhibit was worth protecting? I'm curious. Why did you choose the bomb?
Because you and your company are douchebags? Oh, and the fact you guys like to kill people to keep the profit margin up, well, who wouldn't want to mess with you guys?
I see.
No, guys like you never see until it's too late. I'm gonna make sure you answer for killing her, Marburg. Count on it.
Oh, the choices an agent in your line of work has to make every day. The choice of saving the innocent you know against the dozens, hundreds, even thousands of possible innocents. I wonder what Miss St. James would say about that. Are you ready to die?
Why do you steal all my lines?
Alright, and now for the second most frustrating boss battle in Alpha Protocol, Conrad Marburg, or as I'm going to call him right now, Connie the Coward, based on how his presence known at the last possible minute. Thinking that he could hide from a straight-up G like me? Well now, Connie. That's not exactly very gangsta right now.
Discretion is the better part of that.
Heck, it ain't even gangsta to begin with, you know? And yes, I know it is kind of cheap for me to be camping behind the exhibit like this.
Wise to hide from me, I'll give you that.
Funny, I was about to tell you the same thing, you hypocrite. I wonder if I can nail you boys with a flaming... Yeah, I don't even have enough. I don't even have enough to throw it around them.
Nowhere to run, Thornton.
it's time to switch out for something that can definitely turn the tide of battle in regards to Marburg. Hollow points. I mean, steel cores.
Pay for that!
And I should probably switch to the first aid kit so I have some means of healing myself in the event that this Busta thinks he can.
Thought you could hide.
Huh, that actually managed to work pretty well.
Self-appointed hero. You are disposable and obsolete.
Says the corporate tool who answers to Leyland.
I work for Halbeck. You're a man without a country, Thornton. You're me, 20 years ago.
What's that in dog years?
Even if you escape, I know how your story ends.
Keep talking. Lets me know where to shoot.
Enough of this.
Damn it, he's getting away.
There's nothing you can do now, Mike. Get out of there. There'll be another time.
Okay, it looks like I may have had to do a few other things in regards to getting Marburg to stay to fight me to the death. No worries. I know something that he didn't take into consideration. Parker is Madison's dad, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't take too kindly to find out that the guy working for the company that his organization is working with, well, the organization that he's a part of, Parker, was definitely responsible for Madison's death. I'll be sure to keep that in mind if I ever happen to head back to Alpha Protocol. Well, the gray box, I mean. Sorry, forgot the terminology. It's been a while, folks.
So you chose Rome. I underestimated you. And so did Mr. Marburg, apparently. He said you had feelings for this woman.
I did. And you're gonna answer for killing her.
I hope you don't blame me for her death. Marburg wanted you to save her. Not out of any emotional tie, mind you. For him, it was business.
Tragedy in the wake of the thwarted terror attack on the ruins of Karsule.
A shame.
A second attack,
But you can't save everyone, Michael,
claimed
can
the life
you?
of an American employee of the veteran
If I had been in your shoes,
Madison St. James was
well,
killed
I don't know what I
in
would
a
have
terrorist
done.
escape attempt. Italian authorities have announced that a full
Stopping you
investigation
took
into
precedence.
the attack
It was
and
my
Madison
fault she
St.
was
James'
there, but I
death
couldn't
is
let you go through
forthcoming.
with your bombing.
International
Indeed.
reaction to the
After
incident
Saudi
has been
Arabia,
strong,
I always thought your
with
mission came
organizations
first.
formally condemning the attacks and
That's what
praising the
made
work
you
of
so
the brave
useful.
Italian
It was
military.
useless. Stopping that bombing, it wouldn't have benefited you.
INN News has
Really?
been able to locate Miss
That's
St.
because
James'
you
family
have
comment at this time.
a very narrow view of events.
Lectures on perspective from a blind man? That's a first. You planning on teaching about ethics next?
I can't expect you to keep up with every news report. I have an entire division devoted to it, plus my ace in the hole. The bombing was intended to reorganize terrorist legislation in the European Union.
So what? How does that benefit you?
The reorganization was to benefit Helbeck. Surveillance, airport screening tech, weapons. Mr. Marburg's little crusade in Rome was to remind Europe what fear is.
So you killed Madison for profit?
No, Mike, you did. You brought her into this mess. You had her take you to Marburg despite the risks, and then you failed to protect her. Blame me all you want, but step back and think about it. You must have thought about it. When it was all over, you were the big hero, saved all of Rome. When things were quiet, no one shooting at you, no bombs. What did you think about then?
Operator? Hello?
Or else what? Or people you care about will start to die.
Mike! Mike!
Well, that is quite the way to end Rome. on something of a bit of a downer note. Whoops, wrong room. As a little bit of a, as a little means of saying goodbye to Rome, we shall examine Madison's headband and see what Mike has to say about it.
Sorry, Madison.
By the way, if you saved Madison, then you'll still get the headband, but Mike will just be wondering if she'll ever call. On a side note, if you do save Madison, then she'll be pretty pissed if you saved her without romancing her. But if you did romance her, she'll be slightly more understanding. Welp, I guess once again, we have found out that the life of a spy is exciting and a bit of a mood swinger. Usually, surprisingly, at the same time. Almost. Well, actually, not at the same time because, well... I'm sorry, folks. I just gotta take a little bit of a breather here. Madison was probably the only genuinely nice character in the game, not trying to manipulate anybody for her own personal agenda. On the other hand, she did have an agenda, but on the other hand, said agenda was basically running a platform of being nice all the time and genuine. Well, I guess that's where we shall conclude for today, folks. Friendos, I'm Fredo Supreme, the American Dream. I'll let y'all later, I guess.